You think you're wonderful. You think you're strong.
You think you're strong.
The only important
Actually,
one.
you're worthless.
You
This will
think
not end.
you're the
Because
only
you don't want it
important
to.
one.
Your life
You
is just
don't
going to get
even
harder.
Just another
You have a
narcissistic
problem.
power trip. I mean, your whole
You're just
goddamn
gonna
life.
take a look
You
at
think
you.
you're
It's not going to
wonderful.
end. You're just
Because
going to
you know
get
what?
worse
You
and
think
harder
you're
as you
wonderful.
get older.
You think
You're just
you're
wonderful.
wonderful. You think you're strong.
I
You
am
don't
the
want
only
the
one
important
who
one.
really loves
just
you.
this will not end
because
that
I mean, your whole
never
goddamn life.
stops.
Power
You're
trip.
gonna
But a
get
lying,
You're imagining things.
No one's going to want to be.
You think you're wonderful.
It's
No,
just
you're
gonna
not.
get hard. You think
That's
you're
right.
believe anything.
You
You
are
are
imagining
things.
things. It's just going to get worse. You don't matter as you get older.
And your life,
Your life's just going to get
I'm
harder.
the only one who
Who
loves
the
you.
fuck is ever going to want you?
I was making a documentary for a film called We Are the Land, which was in support of missing and murdered Indigenous women. At the filming, Indigenous elders kept coming up to me and saying, you know, you're going through a lot right now. I was like, well, so is everybody. And they went, no, you're going through a lot and you have a lot of decisions to make. And they were right. I had to learn to either forgive or to continue to fight. And neither one seemed like an option. How do you continue to fight physically, mentally, emotionally, financially? But then how do you forgive somebody who's wronged you? And one of the elders said, Carmen, you're gonna be fine. You're gonna be on the back of a motorcycle, traveling the world, interviewing people. And I thought, well, that's crazy, because I've never been on a bike. I don't own a bike. I don't know anybody who owns a bike. And well, I was like that close to believing you, and whatever. Well, it was about 2 months later that I had just finished producing a history show, and Travel Alberta and CMTA asked if I would join this new tour itinerary. And I show up and I went, oh, CMTA, Canadian Motorcycle Tourism Association. Like, this isn't a history thing, this is a biker thing. There are lots of loud pipes, lots of leather, and I'm with the host of my television show who dresses up like a cowboy and calls himself the History Wrangler. And he's going up to all these people saying, I really like your bike, can I sit on it and take a picture? And I'm going, oh my God, we're gonna get beat up. But then this deep, calm, deep voice said, sure, go ahead. And that was my introduction to JD. He was a voice of freedom.
Welcome to Karmali Exchange. Yep, I'm wearing my biker jacket. Well, it's a change for me, of course. We'd love to feature the entrepreneurs who turn their passions into profit, and our guest today, Joseph J.D. Dubois, navigated the twists and turns of steering a business fueled by his passion. He's the founder and president of Freedom Biker Tours, a Canadian company redefining motorcycle tourism with this unique throttle therapy experiences. JD overcame 2 life-changing motorcycle accidents and went on to build an international motorcycle tour brand. JD's story is one of resilience, passion, and a deep love for the open road. Welcome to the show, JD.
Thank you, Faisal.
JD got me on the bike for the first time. And the best way I can describe it is that it took me from a black and white survival state into color. Because the first thing that I remember thinking was, holy shit, this is fun. And I forgot that life was all about fun and enjoyment and those new excitement and adventures. Like how you can see the road beneath you moving, and I was like, where is my seatbelt? Like, I'm just allowed to be open and free. And then the second thing, I noticed this new world around me, the sights and the smells, how your relationship with the sun is completely different, how trees all smell so different from one another, how you can feel the mist of a waterfall before you get to it. It wasn't escape, it was throttle therapy.
into our world. Come step into our world. And as we embrace, we will melt the lonely places. Welcome to our world. I see you wanna dance with me, and I wanna do that very thing. Then we set our feet upon the revolving floor of chance, and we begin to dance. The band plays our song, and we are arm in arm, starting love and wanting more. Throw out time and let it soar. Our life become the dance. Tango of romance, and we are now entwined. Have sudden now we find completely of one mind. Welcome to our world. Welcome, welcome to our world. Welcome to our world, to our world. Welcome, welcome to our world. Welcome to our world. Welcome to our world. Welcome to our world. To our world. Welcome, welcome to our world.
Motorcycles are, it's a freedom thing. It gets you out on the open road. It's all about, seeing new things or seeing things you're just not going to get inside of a car, as an example. So,
my experience as a therapist, I haven't come across the term explicitly. I have, though, had clients who have had motorcycles in their lives to a large extent. And as a result, they've had significant improvement in their well-being in various ways. Managing stress more effectively. It's good for their mood, good for their social relationships, good for their self-esteem, good for focus and concentration, good for getting this state of flow.
For a lot of people, motorcycling is very therapeutic. They like to get out on the open road and feel the wind in their hair kind of thing.
Wind therapy is what they call it, and it's cheaper than a therapist.
I started motorcycling as an adult. End of divorce, had a truck, couldn't afford it, so I bought a bike, and then haven't looked back ever since, to be honest with you. So a bike was purchased for affordability initially, and that was about 20 years ago, I guess. And I discovered the lifestyle that comes with it, and the camaraderie that comes with being with other bikers, and I don't regret a decision I made.
In the MSF course, I was hooked. I was going 10 miles an hour, having so much fun. And I was like, this is my life now. I need to buy my own bike and just change everything. Yeah, I was addicted. I felt like I had met my soulmate.
Oh, well, man, it's such an escape. I mean, it's hard to explain it to people that haven't ridden before. No matter where you are in your life, if you're feeling down, whatever, you go for a ride, and it's the freedom. I mean, I know it sounds like a cliche, but it really is the freedom.
Once you get on that motorcycle, the only thing you can think about is riding that motorcycle. So for safety reasons, for one, but it allows you to kind of forget everything else and just enjoy the road.
You're 100% present in the moment. And there's nothing that forces you to be like that than motorcycling. And that's why I think it's such therapy, is because it makes you be in the meditative state without you realizing that you're meditating.
It kind of makes you feel like a kid again, like when you're out riding bicycles with your neighborhood friends.
There wasn't a night went by when there wasn't a half dozen of us on our bicycles underneath a street lamp, waiting for when the sun went down, everybody's mother to start screaming, "Come home." And that first taste of freedom, the wheels and balance and the physics of riding a bike. And as soon as I met this gentleman at school who had this 1966 Yamaha, I got into his good books real quick and invited out to his farm. And he took the bike for a spin, showed me how to start it, showed me how to run it, gave it back to me. And we're talking rural. He went to the end of his driveway and back, and I got on the bike and let the clutch out that very first time. The feeling of being propelled forward by a motor instead of your own legs, and the freedom of the wind really striking your face. And I got to the end of that driveway and I turned right. And it was about a half an hour later when I ran out of gas, 10 miles away from his farm, that I learned that really important lesson that fuel and understanding how much fuel you have is really important in the sport. But I was so in love with the freedom of two wheels and a motor that I don't remember even pushing it back the 10 miles, although it must have been exhausting. But I remember spending more time looking at the motorcycle from the left side, the right side, the top to bottom as I was pushing it. So I don't remember much about pushing it back, except that never, ever do that again.
Bicycle riders, horse riders, and motorcycle riders all have the same thing in common. We are part of the film. We're not watching it. When you're behind a windshield, you're watching what's going on. Perfect example. I was in the Maritimes. I was coming home from Prince Edward Island. I'm going across the bridge and I am following a fish truck that is filled with chum. And when they go around corners, salty, briny, fishy water splooshes out of the back of the truck and covers you. So when I say that you're in the movie, you're in it.
Just how invigorating it can feel to be outside, and how fun it can feel, like just a little bit of an adrenaline dump, whether even not necessarily going fast, but just you're in a car. It's like the equivalent of being in a car, but there's no barrier. You just have like 360 views. Like the road is right there.
Something about being connected to the world, I guess, in a way that you're only a couple feet off the ground. You know, maybe you're doing 100 kilometers an hour, 60 through a windy road, but you're leaning into it and you're a part of it. Instead of, being protected from it in a car, you can smell the cow shit. You can, you feel the cold when you drop down in elevation, and then it gets warm when you go back up again. You get the rain on the face. And I think that that's something that maybe we miss in regular life, is we're protected and hermetically sealed. In a motorcycle, you're in it.
Religion is a wonderful thing. It gives people purpose. For a motorcyclist, it's that spiritual connection that is our religion. And our cathedral, our church, is that outside environment with the mountains in BC and the prairies and the woods of Ontario and the maritime East Coast. And that is a hell of a church to be able to go to. And you meet lots and lots of apostles and disciples and pilgrims trying to find their way.
Just the people you meet out there and fellow motorcyclists. It's a different world. Trust me, to driving cars and sort of experiencing life. As you mentioned before, your life sort of changed when you discovered motorcycles and met JD and everything. It's part of your life. It's not just transport. It's not just to get up the shops and buy some bread and milk. It's that as well. But at the end of the day, it's everything. It's a lifestyle that brings good to you. Like, it actually is, it makes you feel good. And like you said, I think you mentioned before, it adds a bit of colour to your life.
It's when we finish sentences and have to take a breath. It's when we laugh in rhythm from deep within our bodies. It's when you say I love you and I believe it's true. I know I found true love with you. I know I found true love with you.
It's a relationship between PTSD and motorcycling. That's kind of how it all started. Was back after the Second World War, tons and tons of motorcycles left over from the Army, right? And a lot of the veterans to deal with. It wasn't called PTSD back in those days, but that's what it was.
They're shell shocked.
The camaraderie of getting together and riding motorcycles gave them what they used to have when they were in their units during the war, right? The freedom of riding and that little bit of a thrill of, you're going fast on two wheels on the road and all that. It gave them that excitement and that exhilaration as well too, that they kind of missed that from their activities during the war. And that's how it all started, and it moved through, and now, that's where it's been researched, and it's been proven that riding a motorcycle is extremely therapeutic, and in of itself, it's a form of meditation.
Gotta believe that.
And you look at some of these things, like our guide in the Maritimes is a retired Canadian Air Force helicopter navigator, and he's a good buddy of mine, and he helps me do a lot of stuff on YouTube, but he's also our guide out there. And he participates in that, what do they call that ride?
Rolling Barrage?
Exactly, every year. And that's what the Rolling Barrage is all about. It's about PTSD and awareness and that kind of thing, right?
So the Rolling Barrage, I term it as a traveling PTSD support group. Anyone can join the ride. It was founded by Scott Casey in 2017, so we're approaching the 10-year anniversary. Started off as only 7 people going across Canada, but now it's up over 30 going across Canada every year, with groups bunching up well over 100 for many days.
Going right back to bicycles, there were, in the First World War, bicycle corps. Hundreds and hundreds of people delivering messages on bicycles. That motorcycle propelling people forward, our entire piece of what we know as peace, we owe to that great element of what they give us in war, and is all based on what they learned in peacetime.
It's almost a double plus in that when you're riding with anybody who is a biker who rides is a brotherhood. And then you add this additional brotherhood of service members, people who have served their countries. And it doesn't matter whether it's Canadian military, U.S. military, there's another sub-brotherhood right there. One of the things I always heard growing up was, all gave some and some gave all. And the people who didn't make it back or had something happen, and those are the ones that we celebrate.
My riding career started as a kid, then it stopped for many years. Then while I was in Afghanistan, you find your own headspace. The only place you are really alone when you're in a large military formation is in between your own ears. And how you manage your mental health is important. And I used to make jokes about putting earbuds in would be my mental health break, because then I could sort of turn off a lot of the outside influences. It's almost like by putting the helmet on and or earplugs in, things like that, you are taking a lot of those outside stressors out, because you're now alone in your head and in the space, in that mental capacity of you're focusing. And then by using the motorcycle is you have to focus on what's around you, the sights, the smells, and your reactions. And as many people say, the only thing you can control is your reactions.
In Canada, we have this thing called winter. And when you're locked down for half the season, it seems, you crave getting back on the bike again. Mm-hmm. I have a dear friend out in Diamond, Alberta there, and he has GoPro cameras front, back, side to side, and he's copied in film his 5 favorite rides. So when he parks his bike in his garage, he sits on his bike and he looks at a giant screen in front of him, and he relives all those rides during the winter, because he can't be away from experiencing that experience in the lockdown time of winter. When you're in a hospital, and when I was in the hospital as a paratrooper, I was crippled by striking the ground from a 180-foot cutaway. And when I smashed into the ground, I did serious orthopedic injuries. I had 40 fractures in my right tib platform. I drove my femur into my bowel. I crushed all the bones in my feet, the talus, a burst fracture of L4, a compression of L5, shattered all the teeth in my head. And I was 2 years in hospital, paralyzed at first. And one of the key things that got me through that experience was focusing on getting on a bike again and memorizing all those rides I'd lived and running them over in my mind like that friend of mine does with his GoPro cameras. And that whole time in therapy, my purpose was A, to become a soldier again, which sadly was never going to happen, and B, to get back on the bike. And with a serious spinal injury, a burst fracture and a compression, I had a 3-strut graft installed in one of my 19 surgeries, and they told me right away, we hope you had fun riding bikes because you'll never do that again. Should you come off a motorcycle, should you get into a situation where you're violently thrown into some situation, he said your spine is fused, and your L4 to L5 are now fused as one. So you don't have that flexibility that everybody else has in their spine. So if you come off a bike or if you do something in an accident, the pressure on the top and the bottom of that fused area is guaranteed to sever your spinal cord. And they tried to scare me into never riding again. I didn't hear them. It was just all babble, because all I could think about was I get my buddies to bring my bike down from Base Petawawa, and they hid it behind the field ambulance. And I got on that bike, and what we had to do was to get your very first 48-hour pass. You had to train to get from your bed to a wheelchair, from your wheelchair downstairs to physiotherapy, into physiotherapy, crutches under your armpits, and they had a fake set of 4 stairs, carpeted with railings on either side, and on your own steam without any assistance, you had to go up those 3 stairs from transferring from your wheelchair with the crutches, turn around, come back down those 3 stairs, down to the 4th on the floor, get back in your wheelchair, go back upstairs, get in your bed, all transfers without assistance from anybody. Then you could get your first 48-hour pass. And in the weeks of training to get that first 48-hour pass, I had my buddies bring my bike down to the hospital, and they hid it behind the ambulance, and I would do everything the hospital asked me of. But on our break, I would nip outside, and the guys would stand there and judge me as I did poorly at first and then better, transferring from the wheelchair to the motorcycle. And then somehow balancing myself on the bike, then back on the wheelchair, then back in the hospital, where we'd pretend that didn't just happen. And then I go through physiotherapy. And after 2 years in the hospital, I was getting pretty good at transferring. I got my first 48-hour pass, and I rode to Sarasota, Florida. I was gone for 2 weeks. I just rode, and I got more therapy in that fresh air, jamming through my mind, blowing out the cobwebs, and things to see with your mind to ignore the pain. I got more therapy in that 2-week ride than I did in the 2 years in the hospital. Well, I got great therapy, great physical care from those people, but in my mind, it was the best therapy I could have bought.
Motorcycling comes with an inherent risk. There's no denying that. And maybe that adrenaline rush, that inherent risk that comes with it that we enjoy because that's what we chose as a career. We've always lived a life of a risk and chances and, jumping out of helicopters, jumping out of planes, you name it, shooting rifles is what people do. So we have by nature is who we are. So to take that risk to a civilian aspect with motorcycling makes perfectly good sense to me.
If you are focusing on an activity like riding motorcycles or running or what have you, where you are taking your mind off your problems, if that's all you did and you did not deal with the problems, well, then that would be a problem, pardon the pun. But when I work with clients, I say, you don't want to do that. You want to be doing a combination of what we call problem-focused coping and self-focused coping. The problem-focused coping, dealing with the problem. The self-focused coping, give yourself time to take your mind off your problems and recharge your emotional batteries, so to speak. And we know that if you allocate time to take your mind off your problems, people tend to be more effective at dealing with the problems themselves.
So when we talk about mental health, one of the things that I think is missed the most is actually the tattoo on your right wrist, the semicolon. Semicolon indicates the rest of the story is not written. It continues. We haven't written that chapter of our lives yet. So all we can do is figure out how to move forward in our best way.
As an infantryman, served in Bosnia, Iraq, and Afghanistan. He's seen some see. He never came back when he came back from overseas. Yeah, and a few months back he took his granddaddy's gun, threw it in his truck and went out for a run. Drove up Tilly Mountain to an old shine shack. That's the night he never came back. Yeah, and there wasn't any flag draped coffin, no 21 gun salute. Just his mother and his brother there to bury him, didn't even make the news. Another unsung hero who gave all for me and you. She spent 15 years with search and rescue. During that time she saved lives but lost some too. Then one day she just came undone and never got a chance to say goodbye to her loved ones. No one saw that it was going that way. When the medic showed up, it was just too late. She left a note, said sorry I had to go, but I gotta go try and save some ghosts. Yeah, there wasn't any mention of suicide. They just said she died suddenly. But now everyone knows she lost her war with PTSD. Yeah, another unsung hero who gave all for you and me. Who's gonna do what they do? Will it be me and you? It takes a special someone to walk that line, to walk that line. Yeah. Life as a first responder. He started as a field medic serving over yonder. He thinks about the ones that he couldn't save, and though he knows there's nothing that he could have done, it still haunts him today. Then one night he hit the bottle alone, took a bottle of pills, thank God he picked up the phone. They found him in time and they brought him back for another day. Yeah, and these days he's doing much better. He's been reaching out now, it's not to show. And he's getting help from those who really know what he's going through. Another unsung hero who gave all for me and you. Yeah, we gotta thank all our heroes. That's the least we can do. Yeah, God bless the unsung heroes who give and gave for me and you. It's a real bad war going on out there. We gotta find them, gotta help them, gotta show them that we care. So many people out there trying to make it one more day. Together we can fix this thing, we will find a way. PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder's a really bad thing. PTSD, don't think that it never could happen to you and me.
If you go back to it, PTSD was essentially termed as shell shock, or potentially even cowardice, because people weren't in control. And what we've learned so much over the years. And one of the best things I've heard that I think for a lot of people is it's a normal response to abnormal situations. So when you've been dealt trauma that your mind does not know how to comprehend.
I was 6'3", 240 pounds with 5% body fat, and I became an infant in a flash. And when it came time to do physiotherapy, the last thing you want to do is give yourself pain or discomfort. And you have every right as a patient, if you make that decision to lay in bed and do nothing, they'll feed you. You can rent televisions, you can stay in bed for the rest of your life. But as a soldier, I wanted to get back in the job again.
When you take good people and you put them in a position where they have to see horrific things or sometimes do horrific things, those good people, their soul suffers. Their brain suffers. They keep second guessing themselves. They keep pressure on the world around them, trying to heal and run away from the responsibility of being responsible for having done that thing.
I cared about my family. I cared about my comrades. I cared about my country and the mission, but I was a killing machine. That was my job, to kill anybody our country identified as an enemy. When you come out of that environment into civilian street, it doesn't work no more. And you have to make a choice in your mind as to how you're going to accept what you've done or been a part of. What people I don't think understand is that all soldiers suffer from that. We love the police, and we love firefighters, and we love EMS, but we have a thing, it's an unlimited liability. We sign a contract that because of the nature of our job in the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, your job is when your country, your government points you at another force, you must destroy that force. And the way that's done is by closing with and destroying the enemy and the infantry, by manning ships, by manning aircraft in the Navy and the Air Force. So we have to sign a document. We literally sign a document, unlimited liability, that we will offer our very life guaranteed. We will offer the lives of those we command, guaranteed without hesitation. We will not only allow ourselves to be maimed in the line of duty, but we guarantee we will maim and kill others for that job. Police don't sign that document. Firefighters don't sign that. EMS folks, although all of them are in harm's way. When there's a fire or when someone's firing a weapon, firemen and police move forward. They have to move towards the danger. EMS people, and there's situations where people are dying all around them, they still have to move forward. But they do not sign a document with their hand and with their soul that says, I will allow myself to be killed, I will kill others, I will allow myself to be wounded or crippled for life, I will do that to others for my country. So that step that we have to take is the hardest thing for most people to understand, including us who did it.
When you see a sailboat drifting out at sea, think of me, think of me.
I did make a point of personalizing the tour a little bit, because I don't know if everyone would go to the Swiss Air 111 Memorial. I was at the time an aviator in the Air Force, and I was called at home after the plane crashed, and I went in and I was flying around on the search and rescue mission before the sun came up the next morning. So I was able to share those experiences just because that's relevant to the situation, because that's also a relevant part of our history here. The mental health that impacts that something like Swiss Air 111 had on the local area was surprising. The military also has their plans for how to deal with mental health, but all the local fishermen who came out to help on their own without being asked, tasked, or anything, but did they get the mental health support that the military members got? Do they get the medical pensions for PTSD?
So Halifax was founded in June of 1749 by Colonel Edward Cornwallis of the British military. The main purpose for Halifax was to offset the large French fortress of Louisbourg, which is located on Cape Breton Island, about 30-minute drive outside of Sydney. Louisbourg was the to the French the crown jewel of the defenses of New France. And Halifax was established to offset that large fortification. And ever since then, Halifax has been a military town. Even up to today, the main fleet for the Canadian Navy on the East Coast is based here in Halifax.
United by the sun. I don't know where, I don't know when, I don't know how it will
You're just
be
gonna
done.
get worse and worse as you get older.
Take me away, take me away, ride the waves free as the dolphins, off to deserted islands. Take me away, take me away.
I mean, as big as you are, it doesn't make you big in your, I don't know, how can I say that? The bigger you are, the bigger you fall?
Because you're not on TikTok as a girl wearing, tight jeans with no knees in them and or nylons in a skirt and you're riding your motorcycle with a full face that makes you look like a badass and you're trying to be just a fashion. That's not being a biker. I'm sorry. Mm-hmm. Being a biker is being a person who dresses for the slide, who understands the danger of every time they put their leg over a motorcycle, it could be their last. And they're still willing to do it because that pure joy, that pure essence of feeling alive.
You're meant to live, not survive.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're right. One guy on a bike is what they're thinking. Well, it's not. When you're a group of bikes going on the road, you are one. When you pull out in traffic, your lead bike is the end of that bike is the end of the last bike, not the end of your bike. You're working as a team all the time.
I mean, it's not the same when you pull up in a car. Pull up in a car and you might say hello to someone pulling up in the car next to you. You pull up next to a bike or whatever, you start talking about each other's bike. You start going, oh, I love this, I love that. You don't go, oh, I love the way your bonnet looks. Yeah, and there's that other community side of things that brings people together. They're all experiencing what they love together, and yeah.
And I remember buying my first Harley and the guy saying, listen, we all make good bikes, but Harley Davidson's a lifestyle. And it is one of the only, I don't see anybody with Kawasaki tattoos. I do see lots of people with Harley Davidson tattoos. Yeah, there's never been a rally for minivans, a bunch of soccer moms show up and we have a rally. Harley Davidson, motorcycles, there's rallies all over the country, all over the world, just to celebrate bikers.
There's no better feeling than sitting outside of a motel with 20 or 30 other friends of yours and just relaxing and parking the bikes for the night after a long day's ride.
There's just consistent whopping gender differences in terms of women and females being more readily opening up about thoughts and feelings than men do, right? And it's not that men can't do it, but you got to have the conditions be better for them to do it.
It wasn't very long before I met a young gentleman who just came back from the fighting in the Baddeck pocket in Bosnia, the war in Sarajevo. And he was horribly traumatized emotionally. When I first met him, it was at a Ride for Dad event, a charitable ride to raise money for prostate cancer research. And there's hundreds of motorcycles rip-roaring around, and there's hundreds right in front of him. So I waddled up to him with my limp, and I leaned up against the wall beside him, and I said, so who'd you serve with? And he said, I was, in a French accent, he says, I was with the Vendouzième. And I said, I love the guys from the Royal 22nd. However, there's no way I can fix what they did to you. And he looked at me and he started laughing, and we all of a sudden had a connection, the inter-unit rivalry, and yet I had just come away from 10 years of learning how to adopt, of learning how to overcome, of learning how to get on a motorcycle and move forward. So we rode together that first day. And at the end of the day, I went home, and I jokingly say I screwed up. I gave him my phone number. And when I got home that night, these are in the days before cell phones, I had an answer machine, and there were 44 messages from this guy. When can we ride together again? That was fantastic. I haven't felt that good in years. Can we do? So I rode it with him the next day, and the next day, and the next day, and I realized what he needed, what was missing in his life was nobody knew he was a hero. Nobody knew he was a soldier. No one knew that he gave his whole life for them.
Beautiful blue sky.
Just imagine 120 years ago, James McCurdy flowing that lake right there, eh? That plane, like something like the Wright brothers, right? Just man-powered flight in Canada.
I said I can't emphasize enough to people the friendliness, the hospitality, people are willing to stop and make chat, eye contact. You walk down the sidewalk, people make eye contact with you. You call that eye smiles. That's just the way it is. That's the East Coast way of doing business.
It's an Acadian custom, it's a Scottish custom, it's a British custom, it's a Nova Scotia custom. I would say, and truly a Haligonian custom. Haligonians are what we call ourselves if you're from Halifax. Yeah, so it's just in us. It's just the way we were brought up. You always help your neighbor, and if you see somebody broken down the side of the road and they're not from around these parts, don't be surprised if somebody pulls over and gives you a hand or gives you directions or even takes you in for a meal. That's quite common in these parts.
Just let it go, just let it go. Just let it go, just let it go, just let it go.
Out here, you can
Fear, 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 fear consumes me. Fear, fear,
ride forward.
fear, fear, fear strangulates me. Fear, 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 fear,
Out
fear,
here,
fear, fear, and authenticates me. Fear, 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 it strengthens me.
The land remembers who you are. The land remembers who you are.
So I find that piece of paper sitting in my mouth. Chew that bit of paper mat to swallow up my life.
The throttle is freedom.
Fear, 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 fear.
The road doesn't ask you to shrink. You are free to choose your own direction.
I loved just hearing you talk about, you know, the stages and the steps, and that it's fine, right? Where you master one thing and then you move on to another. You're not expected to just all of a sudden go out and be an expert, right?
Yeah, like the road's not going anywhere. You can take your time to learn how to do things before you go out on the road.
I feel like I just start shedding stuff. The pain of the week, the insult of the day, the sadness about something with family, whatever those heavy cares and concerns are. Now it's me, my motorcycle, and my safety. And I can focus my brain onto something that is valuable. It gives my brain respite. It gets rid of the white noise. And it fills my soul with a music that I like to call the rhythm of the road.
We are all faced with a series of great opportunities, brilliantly disguised as impossible situations. Is that
That's
where
my favorite quote? Yeah, that's on the bottom of my emails.
Yeah, so that's kind of where it comes from, because your journey of healing on a bike is completely different then, because it's not like like mine was. I got on a bike and it woke me up to this new world. Yours is more of a challenge, and to become one with it, like almost having that relationship with the bike.
Exactly.
Well, when ladies got into the sport, we started seeing colors in the sport. We started seeing clothing and equipment that fit properly, and in bicycling it was the same. When ladies got into the sport, the first thing they said was, these roads are terrible. And we want to ride in comfort, so there became the very first road maintenance programs, and soon after was clubs. And bicycle clubs right across North America and Europe had a great tradition of putting the politicians of the day feet to the fire to repair the roads. And then these bicycle clubs would next say, I want to go to the next town over, and I want to see who can do it fastest. We owe a great debt to bicycles, and we can never forget that.
The paved road around the coast of Atlantic Canada with lots of rolling hills and relatively sharp corners and beautiful scenery. And it's a park, so the roads are very well maintained. Like I said, there's nice lookouts and pull-offs all the way around. A lot of beautiful sights to see the Atlantic coast, the Atlantic Ocean, uninterrupted by trees.
There's so many great areas. I do love riding along the coastline, going up along the Acadian coastline too. That's a great area to ride through too. So
yeah, I like doing 90, 100, 110. I'm not being pushed. I get out the main roads anywhere, hospitality, lots of back roads. Like I said, I mean, you go up to the bigger provinces, the bigger cities there, you're coming out the ramp in fifth gear doing 120. That's not a fun ride down the 401. You're just white knuckling it all the way, right? So that's one big difference here. I find we don't get pushed on our highways as much.
there's a lot of great riding down here, whether it's New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, Prince Edward Island. You make your way over to Newfoundland, cross on the ferry or something. It's a great way to spend some time down in Atlantic Canada.
Because when you're in a small town, people realize you can't survive alone. You have to work together is the best way to survive. And people aren't surviving, they're thriving. They're put together events just for small communities. And you may be a long way from the big city, but that doesn't mean you can't have good times.
So give me an example of what the last time you had your version of Throttle Therapy. What was going on in your mind that brought it forward? Because I think a lot of business owners need to understand how you can bring what's in the back of your mind to the front. And I think a lot of your customers have to understand that this is an opportunity for them to experience this.
You can't make it happen. It just happens.
Shit. Okay.
And it's an individual experience. When I'm relaxed and I'm riding and I'm focusing, and that back subconscious most active part of your brain, that 90%, right?
Yeah.
That's when things go, oh yeah. And solutions start to come out, and it's a
Did anybody see that look? That look right there. Hang on. Sorry, JD. I got to say this out loud. Okay. I have a member on my team. His name is Jason. He talks about his bike, and the same goddamn look comes out of Jason's face as JD just had right there. There is something about being part of this brotherhood community that brings out that look. You don't see it very often. And if you're going to actually get on the bike and be part of a tour, you're going to see this. Right now, behind the camera, Jason has the same look you have on right now.
Maybe I should patent it.
I think you should. Like, it is so cool when you brought that out because there is no other experience. And I've interviewed and worked with a lot of business owners. Mm-hmm. There is nothing from a consumer base that brings that look, that emotion, no matter where they are in the world, that they can just go through that experience.
And we have a special guest star with us today, Daniel Ross, the infamous Cabot Trail biker. Take it away, boys.
So today we're going to head out of here and go up to a place called Cape Smoky, which has got some nice viewpoints and some really nice corners that we were discussing earlier. They did some renovations to the last few years and still kept the corners in.
Cape Smoky kept the serpentine section at the bottom, which was for no other reason but to spoil motorcyclists. This is just another example of a couple of your tour, so thanks JD, but just to meet people and have them enjoy. It's a real compliment when people say they enjoy riding in my backyard, and I just love it. I'm very passionate about it. I love motorcycling, and I love seeing people on vacation, and like you said, it makes people happier. It's good for the mind. It's awesome. Motorcycling is awesome.
It's Throttle Therapy.
Red, fertile, passion play. Inside the music, hips swirl and sway. Stir the tide of deep desire. Flowing scent and dark chocolate. Vibrations begin heightening. Blur across loose boundaries. Tangerine scent is blooming. Pleasure at the core.
Blessed by angels into heaven's tree. Blessed by angels into heaven's tree. Blessed by angels into heaven's tree. Blessed by angels into heaven's tree.
Dry naked lay in golden rays, clarity of frequencies. Intellect has half a chance, lemon open spirit ways. Beating heart, the middleman, mossy hillside rain soaks in, dampens warring contradictions, algae, seaweed, forest, ocean.
I know for a fact that being a motorcyclist made me a better soldier. You become very, very aware fast, and if you skin your knee or an elbow, it'll heal. And if you just get on the bike a different way and ride it a different way, you're not going to get those bumps and scrapes. So you start to develop a survival pattern, a reality of what's around you, the potholes and the bumps and rain and how other people react on bicycles and different skill levels.
I've heard people say so many times, I would die for my kids. Okay, but would you live for them? Actually live, find joy, become a better person than you were yesterday, practice sobriety. Your kids don't need you to die for them. They need you to live.
Sky in pastel lateness rests a sigh. Sound waves freely flow. Temple pond reflecting ego. In mind's eye, an amethyst. Faceted jewels, psychic tide. In violet, walks messenger. Exist within sixth sense. Infinite tendrils, diamond sparkle, cosmic state of bliss. If blessed by angels into heaven, surely it is this.
Okay, we're at a rest stop here, the one that overlooks Shedda Camp. There's a beautiful monument here. It's one of the most popular rest stops. You can't go by this one if you're on the Cabot Trail. And I met a woman from Montreal. And so I asked her if she'd go on my bike, and she said yes, first time on a motorcycle. So we're taking her to the ice cream stop.
This is an unreal experience. I was just at the rest stop looking at the scenery on the Cabot Trail with my friends, and there's a nice group of people that came along and they offered me to ride in the bike. The communication with nature is unbelievable. It's for my first experience, I'm very thankful that I had this chance. I felt amazing. The smell, the scent, the people waving at each other on the bikes was a truly great experience. I'm very thankful.
How many people are you getting on your bike today?
This is my third girlfriend today.
Third girlfriend.
The first one we broke up, she said it wasn't me, it was her. The second one, she said my French was too poor.
Déjà embarqué sur des motos, c'était pas la première fois. Et j'adore embarquer sur les motos, j'adore le feeling, les odeurs, le paysage. C'est vraiment une expérience très fun.
If you had told me this morning that I would ride on the motorcycle on the Cabot Trail, I would have said you're nuts. But would I do it again? Absolutely.
Sometimes it's not great when you're getting rained on and you've got a long ways to go and you're cold and you're miserable, but you're in it. And you're still loving it because you're testing yourself as well as you go through it. And so I think every ride is a little bit of test, a little bit of heaven, a little bit of chaos.
And I had like a couple of rips in my gloves just near the fingers, so my fingers were almost frostbite. It was so cold. And I saw a guy coming down the road on a Road King coming the other way, and his actual screen was covered in sort of light snow. So that was when I realised it was actually starting to snow. So we actually got up to the top of this place, Cradle Mountains, famous in Tasmania. And literally about 7 of us all went straight in front of the open fire, gloves off and everything. And exactly what you just said, it was a feeling of accomplishment. We were all very well out of our comfort zones. It was dangerous. It was cold. It was sleety and wet. But we all got there and we all, enjoyed the experience together and the accomplishment of being able to stand in front of the fire and thaw out.
One of my favorite times to cry is when I'm riding in the rain, because then nobody knows I'm crying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right?
The rain has different aspects to it, right? Where it is kind of therapeutic, it can wash things away, but it's a completely different challenge or scenario when you make it through a rainstorm.
It always smells the cleanest after a rain shower. So is riding in the mist Mother Nature's way of cleaning you?
Yeah. We got some rain, which rain is
It's a thing.
there's a love-hate relationship where you're like, you got to make peace with the rain.
I do not mind the rain sometimes, 'cause that's the only way the roses bloom in my mind. When I cry, 'cause that's the only way the roses bloom. It's okay, I'm not okay. I felt the disarray yesterday. Oh my, I need to feel the raindrops on my head, on my head. I know nothing, so I embrace what I cannot control. Oh my, trouble walks beside me till my end, till my end. Oh, I do not mind the rain sometimes, 'cause that's the only way the roses bloom in my mind. When I cry, 'cause that's the only way that the roses bloom.
It comes to the point where you start to carry that ethos into your daily life. Healing and to have the strength, not only for your own self and honor, to have the honor to get through the day the best way possible. There are some days where you're real strong and you have the strength to not only get yourself through the day, but other people around you. And you have the honor in doing it in such a way that you're mentoring other people, or you're not making it all about yourself. You're looking into their heart, looking into their mind based on your experience, or if you don't have that experience, to find others around you to help that person. And all of a sudden you get on a different tack. You get out of the basement, you get out of the darkness, you get out of the horrors that you witnessed. You stop feeling the blood in your fingers, and how when your hands dry, when they're soaked with blood, especially of someone who you care for, that when it dries, you can't separate your fingers because of the iron oxide that's in blood. And all of a sudden, you're focusing on your hands and the blood and the horror of that moment. Well, all of a sudden, if you're on a motorcycle, you're focused on the sunshine or even the rain, where you got to focus on moving your goggles side to side to side so you can still see where you're going. And even though you feel that moisture creeping up your wrists and creeping up the middle of your jacket and down your neck, and you're starting to get colder and wetter, you start laughing because none of this matters. I'm moving forward, I'm rolling ahead, and my hands are as clean as they're ever going to be, and life is good. And the strength to get through every day and the honor to do it the best way possible becomes your mantra. And to ride and have fun, help others becomes your mission.
The rain sometimes, 'cause that's the only way that the roses bloom in my mind. When I cry, 'cause that's the only way. Oh, 'cause that's the only way that the roses bloom.
You ever notice how the Maritimes feel like that girl that always gets asked out, but then nobody shows up? There she is, all like salt and curves and glow and fog. And she's there with that lighthouse glow. But they don't show up. Why?
But us bikers, we show up.
The bikers show up.
We ride.
We don't ask her to be more than who she is. We don't pave over her. We don't apologize for her wild. We lean into it. Why? Because we're Canada. Because this land, this woman of the country, she's not broken. She's cracked, for sure, but that's how the light gets through.
Like that old Japanese art kintsugi. When a dish breaks, they put it back together with gold. Not to hide the damage, to celebrate it. Make it stronger, more honest, and more her.
Canada's not broken. Canada's not broken. Canada's not broken. Canada, she's not broken. Her past, not always pretty, but damn if she doesn't wear those scars like scripture.
She is Atalanta,
the goddess of never not broken. Shifting, crashing, flowing, made whole in her becoming. And when we ride, when the throttle roars like a hymn down the coastline, when the salt air hits our lungs like a truth that we forgot, we heal. Not just the body, but our soul.
She asks us to think audaciously and act courageously in service of making Canada a better and more interesting place. We take in her stories and exhale forgiveness.
We don't shame this land into changing. We love her into evolution. We're earth, wind, fire, water, spirit. We're a moving prayer on two wheels. And you know, maybe, just maybe, when we lean into the curve, she leans back. When we ride, she rides with us, healing us as we heal her.
Just another narcissistic power trip. The whole goddamn life. Never. I mean, who's supposed to believe anything you say? And you think you're the only one
Breathe, dream, do. Well, the biggest thing you take away from the biking community is that there is two worlds. There's the 1% world, and then there's the other world. The other world is really community-oriented people that ride, have fun, and help others. That's the motto of my club, actually. Ride, have fun, and help others. And a lot of us do that. And that's what the community needs to realize. In my case, as a soldier, I gave for my country for 36 years. Now I'm giving to my community.
Riders know it, the road you're on, the people around you, the energy in the air, it all changes with the ride.
You're like a million times more likely to die if you ride a motorcycle. That's why you shouldn't ride them. Very unsafe.
You shouldn't be out when it's this cold. Those things aren't made to work in this weather.
You know it's really dangerous to ride a motorcycle when the parking lot is really busy.
You shouldn't have a custom exhaust on a bike. Could damage your engine.
You shouldn't ride a motorcycle in traffic. It's dangerous and immature. Get a car.
My cousin's friend rode through a fence, then fell into the ocean where he was eaten by sharks. Cars are so much safer.
It's a scientific fact that if you've never owned, ridden, or ridden on a motorcycle, you should shut the fuck up and not tell people about motorcycles.
Like when I started to get involved with JD, I mean, I was like, I really like you, but I can't be with a biker. Like, I'm being accused of all these other things. Imagine if I'm like now dating some biker, I'm going to be accused of being in like Hell's Angels or, you know, a biker gang or blah, 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 blah. And he actually was the one who was like, okay, I hear you. You think if you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. But don't you realize that there is an incredible freedom that comes in that situation? And I was like, no, there isn't. I'm in trouble either way. There's no freedom. And he went, no, there is freedom. If it doesn't matter what you do, then you might as well do whatever you want.
When we're on the road as a large motorcycle pack, we take up a lot of space and we do get drivers frustrated at us. And as such, you end up with people who just get annoyed and do dangerous things. Yes, some people might have more legitimate reasons than just to hurry up to get to Tim Hortons. And that's some of the things that lead to road rage, is that people are just feeling injustice to themselves. And if you go through life believing that, your crises is the most important, then, you don't know what has happened to that other people. You don't know the people that are beside you in the traffic if they've lost a family member recently.
What do you say to some of the naysayers or the ones that believe the Hollywood misconceptions that, bikers are mean and scary or
what do I say to them? I don't know. Those people don't usually talk to me.
It's not long before you pull into a parking lot with a big loud motorcycle wearing black leather, and the public will kind of judge you right away. And that's natural. And as far as outlaws and people who wear the three-piece patch and follow that lifestyle, we respect everyone. And the motorcycle culture, like with these outlaw guys, there are outlaws who are wearing medals, who serve their nation proudly, and they've got the freedom to choose which way they want to go, and we support that. But our organization is bound on helping and healing. And the words strength and honor are key to our organization, to have the strength to get through every day and the honor to do it the best way possible.
That's what cognitive behavioral therapy is all about. People who view things in an overly negative way tend to not be in a good state emotionally, right? Now, if somebody has a negative thought come into their heads of any kind, I say to them, don't dismiss it out of hand. But on the other hand, don't take it as face value or gospel without questioning it or examining it, right? So if I have somebody who has the thought that riding motorcycles is not good overall, or it does more harm than good, I would say check it out and examine the evidence for it.
It's always good to go from one coast to the other, because as I've learned in my military career, everything is different wherever you go. Doesn't mean it's better, it's just different. From you go up into the Arctic, where I was posted to Yellowknife, I was posted in Vancouver Island, I've been in Halifax, and points in between. Everything is different. Doesn't necessarily mean it's better, it's different.
Not super keen on the Maritimes for a long time. I'm a West Coast guy, but I fell in love with the Maritimes on this trip. I had forgotten how beautiful it is, how amazing the people are. The trip that we were on was so well curated, and we got to see some amazing places and take some incredible roads. And the scenery is amazing. Again, people, the roads for the most part are incredible. We did the Fundy Parkway. Oh my God, that was a special piece of road.
What was the name of the place we went to?
The Old Triangle Ale House.
Okay.
Old Triangle Ale
Okay.
House, Irish pub. We listened to some Irish music, and I really liked the T-shirt that was there. So I ended up
tell me the story of the T-shirt. What happened? Because I wasn't there.
Oh, because it was an Irish T-shirt. I'm Irish, so it had a really cool logo on it and everything. And so I asked the lady if they had them for sale. She said no, and she went back to her
Private
locker,
stash.
yeah, and grabbed one of her own personal ones and gave it to me. So I pulled my Nessie Burger shirt from Fallbrook, California, off my back and gave it to her. So we exchanged shirts. It was super cool. It was nice people. It was a great time.
Oh yeah, everyone there was so
Yeah,
nice.
it was
Everybody
a blast.
told me that the people in Canada are so nice, and they truly are.
You may arrive as a visitor. Chances are soon after you're going to be treated like a friend, and maybe after a few days you might be right in with the family before heading home.
The average person is going to tell somebody something 9 times, right? 7 to 9 times. That's how often they generally repeat good or bad stories. The average person. Biker, it's 40 times. A biker will share good and bad experiences at least 40 times with as many people as they can.
And that has always resonated with me as well. I believe in people. I believe in looking after people. I believe in the value of human beings and what we all bring to the table, regardless of race, creed, religion, political standing, whatever. It doesn't matter. People should come first.
I'm sitting on a corner. Nobody told me it would be this way. Where's the law and order? Everything we built just to throw it
And if you can reach someone in a dark place and draw them into the light and put them on a motorcycle and show them this incredible country and the freedom that they earned to enjoy, that's the best payoff of all.
I'm sitting on a corner. Nobody told me it would be this way.
You know, I had an old RSM years ago when we got folks in the regiment. He used to raise a glass to the new sergeants. He used to say, "Gentlemen, remember, never be influenced by fools, but by all means as a fool, influence others." So I had been influencing people for a while, and even though my body's broken, my brain has been altered. I think that even though I look like an Iron Man on the outside, inside I'm like the rest of them. I get up every single day and I think, what am I going to do? And if that day starts with a motorcycle, I know exactly what I'm going to do, and it's going to be great.
Oh, you gotta know it's wrong. We can't live this way. I'm sitting on a corner. Sitting on a corner. Oh, we come this far, so don't throw it away. I'm sitting on a corner. Where's the line? Oh, you gotta know it's wrong. We can't
To live your best life doesn't mean you have to get there right away. I gave up worrying about the clock for the most part when I was diagnosed with cancer. And that made me realize the future is what I make it. And if I make it full of stress, because I'm always rushing trying to do things, you have to prioritize differently.
I love people who turn their mess into their message. And, you know, the testing of me becomes my testimony, right? So I love it when people go through life and they don't just think about themselves, but they go back and they take others by the hand and say, here, come with me.
I mean, I was so monotone survival state that I couldn't think of a dream, right? So it was when that Indigenous woman said, "Oh, you're going to be on the back of a motorcycle traveling the world, interviewing people," and I was like, that's crazy. But now I'm like, you know what? That's a pretty friggin' fantastic dream.
Yes.
And let's pursue that because that's the dream that I want. So it just so happens that I fell in love with a guy who runs a motorcycle tour group.
JD didn't show up with this magic motorcycle wand and was like, poof, you're healed. No, what JD did was he introduced me to a safe outlet and reminded me of my good environment so I can do the work to feel comfortable enough to start healing myself. Motorcycles demand something immediate. Trust. Trust in the machine. Trust in the road. And if you're riding with someone, trust in your partner. There's an unspoken language on a bike. It's a steady hand on your thigh that says, I've got you. I mean, it's nothing dramatic. It's, you know, mutual respect at 100 miles an hour. But when you're in the right environment, you start noticing those bigger lessons. Nature doesn't cling. It releases and it trusts that cycle. Trees let go of their leaves every year and it doesn't get mistaken for death. Fire clears what no longer belongs and makes room for growth. Throttle therapy isn't a cure. It's a path that will get you there. And the thing that I know for sure is that this road doesn't end here.
In the moment that we pass, eyes lock, and we know this is the life. The knowing's at a price, burned forest brings new life, this is the life. The center of the storm is calm, hearts pump while time is long. The moment's there and then it's gone. This is the life. This is the knowing. This is the life. This is the life. This This is the knowing, this is the life. And we are blind, and then we see, and then it's gone. We wonder what went wrong. We walk the road, we stumble and we fall. This is the life. It's moving on and on. This is the life. It's moving on and on. And sometimes we live recklessly, laughing at mortality. Lightning strikes and you're the only one. Your time has come. And we are blind, and then we see, and then it's gone. We wonder what went wrong. We walk the road, we stumble and we fall. This is the life. It's moving on and on. This is the life. It's moving on and on. The center of the storm is calm. Hearts pump while time is long. The moment's there and then it's gone. This is the life. This is the knowing. This is the life. This is the life. This is the knowing. This is the life. This is the life. This is the knowing. This is the life. This is the life. This is the knowing. This is the life. This is the life.
The time has come to leave this dance, red Venus of romance. But there is more to come, for we have just begun this loving dance. Never stop the dance, blue tango of romance. So glad we've had this time, so long as not goodbye. Welcome world, welcome, welcome world, welcome, welcome world, welcome world, welcome world, welcome, welcome, welcome world, welcome, welcome world, welcome, welcome world. Welcome world, welcome world, welcome, welcome, welcome world.
The road doesn't judge you.